views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail.
Hey, everyone. Oh, my goodness, that we're tuning in during, I want to welcome. It's great to be able to chat with you. What an amazing show we have coming up for you. Thank you all for tuning us in, turning us on. If you will, go to the drpatshow.com or go to Transformation, post it up there that we're talking about that we're doing and ways for you to get involved with changing the vibration on the planet. Talking about changing the vibration, I'm so thrilled about my co-host joining me here today, the Empowered Self Series. Dr. Friedemann joining me on the show. He has been my co-host now for a number of years, and I'm always thrilled when I find out what we're going to be talking about. You know, beyond being the award-winning author of the Fear and Anxiety Solution, he's also the founder of Cellular Wisdom, a personal breakthrough and empowerment program. He's helped thousands of people all over the world overcome their emotional, physical challenges, move beyond the phobias, the blocks, the things that are sticking you in your life. And so he's done this by modeling what it means to step out into the world and do what you love. He had to move beyond his own personal challenges and, move beyond some of the things that others wanted him to do to step fully into the life that he was called, the purpose and the passion. His accelerated personal breakthrough empowerment program combines mind-activating technology such as NLP, energy psychology, medical hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, and a wide array of other background things, modalities in medicine and science. He is amazing. If you've ever listened to any of the shows that we've ever done together, you leave the show thinking that you've learned something incredible and now want to take action in your life. He's also been known for his free telephone consultations. For those of you out there that are not even sure whether you are stuck, you get to call him at 866-903-6463 and schedule a free phone conversation, with him. And so his breakthrough program has helped people with anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, chronic pain, and basically how to thrive in life. Today's show is not any different. It is all about mind stretching, how to gain mental and emotional flexibility. Ooh, boy, this is a good one. Dr. Friedemann, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. It's always wonderful. I'm always looking forward to being on your show.
Well, my mind has hurt me so much in the past month, I could use a little stretching in it. You know what I mean? It's kind of, I don't know why we don't think about, mind stretching like we do our bodies, like when we're going to, go to the gym or when we're going to do yoga or anything like that. I don't really know why we don't think about those things. In the scheme of things, we're kind of like living in this place where we pay so much attention to so many other things in the outside world, and we don't pay enough attention to our own mind. So tell us a little bit about mind stretching, how it helps us gain that mental and emotional flexibility.
The goal of mind stretching is certainly to be able to be more flexible. That's what really also the physical stretching is about. And, when you observe your own mind, you probably have to agree that over the years it becomes more rigid. It becomes just more, set in its own ways. You see certain things and then you have an opinion about it, or you have a certain mental and emotional comfort zone that you're in, and it's hard for you to get out of it. Or you have maybe, an idea about your work or the people that you know or politics or whatever, and you just have a way to see things in a more and more narrow perspective. And for our mind, that's just like for our body, the natural thing to do, because when we are sitting all day long and we are never really moving our body, it just gets into this more complacency, and our mind does the same thing. But of course, it's a great downside when you become rigid, because a rigid mind allows you not to see the opportunities when there are any difficulties or unforeseeable challenges coming up. A rigid mind just knows one way, and then there's all of a sudden an obstacle, and in that moment you go into oh my God mode, and you don't know what to do with it. So you're actually with a stretching of a mind gain already an ability to deal with the circumstances of life with much greater ease. Just like you physically, when you stretch, can climb over a mountain or hurdle much easier, you can do this also with the hurdles of life when you have stretched your mind regularly and just have fun with it and do it in a way that actually feels empowering.
It's really interesting because, I get to, like you, we get to, have conversations and work with people that are really wanting to have a life that is really what we might call a stretched life, so to speak. A life that allows us to bring into being those things that we think are really out of the realm of what we either deserve or what we can have. And, I wanted to ask you about that because part of what you talk about is this idea of mental and emotional flexibility. And I wanted to hear from you what that means, because I think about that and I ask myself the question, now let me think here, Dr. Schaap, do I really want to be mentally and emotionally flexible? What the heck is that going to get me?
Well, I think in yoga, for example, one of my great teachers says that the age of a person isn't determined by his years, but by his flexibility. And I think that's also with the mental and emotional part of us as human beings. When our mind becomes less flexible and more stuck or more rigid, we are just aging faster, and we are not really keeping up with the ever-changing environment that we are in. Now, what you're saying, for example, is stretched life. I assume you mean a stretched life financially or with all the challenges that are coming up. And of course, that requires for us to be especially flexible, because it's in those moments when we have to be creative, when we have to be inventive, when we have to be able to look beyond the challenges and really try to find solutions or not give up on our dreams and just change course to reach them. All of those things are mental, emotional flexibility. See, you can go, for example, through, a daily life of getting out of bed, watching the news, getting already into a certain kind of tension about it, because there are all the bad things that are happening right now in the world. You go into the car, you go into the traffic jam, you're 20 minutes late to work as usual, and, it just goes on from there. Your mind is in a pressure cooker. You feel like every moment is somehow condensing your mind, and you're just on that track that gets you through the day, and at the end of the day, you're exhausted, and you just are in a full-blown survival mode. This is where your mind loses its flexibility, because you really just endure life. and not really feel in charge of it. So what mind stretching does, it helps you to see things from a whole different perspective. It allows you to do things differently. It asks you to leave your comfort zone, taking little risk and just mixing it up, and this way creating a much more interesting experience about life. A simple example is the mind stretching we do every time we go on vacation. Unless you go to the same spot and you do the same thing every time you go on vacation, that's a different story. But if you actually do, let's say, explore another country and you are, basically navigating through a new city, your mind is open. Your mind needs to be flexible. You need to live with, yourself when you have ordered accidentally calf brain and you have no idea what it actually was. And when you eat it, your taste buds are just, not necessarily enjoying what you just have between your teeth. All of those things are stretching your mind, and you incorporate it because you are in the vacation mind, and the vacation mind is open in itself. If we could actually be like that open and that flexible on a daily basis, our life would be way more fulfilling because we would be more present and we would take more in.
You are tuned in to the Empowerment co-host, Dr. Friedemann Chow. This is what we're talking about, mind stretching, how to gain mental and emotional flexibility. We're going to be talking about what that lack of flexibility and openness causes in our lives, why we stay stuck, and what Dr. Friedemann Chow, award-winning author of the Fear and Anxiety Solution, is going to tell us, going to share with us of how to make that change and make that shift. Let's take a short break, everyone. We'll be right back with the show.
You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio, the new mainstream in radio.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
Tune in each Tuesday at noon Pacific and 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com for The Dr. Julie Show, All Things Connected with Dr. Julie Kroll, featuring weekly segments with David Eisen and the Chakra Sound System. Each week, you will journey through infinite possibilities, expand into social potential, and find beautiful beginnings where endings leave off. Changemakers from around the world will explore what's emergent about the environment, relationships, health, the arts, education, and the evolution of consciousness. Visit thedrjulieshow.com.
Are you ready to tap into the healer within? Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Did you know the real doctor is the source that lives within you, that heals within you minute by minute every day? The healer within is the innate intelligence of the human body. When we cut our hand with a piece of glass, we don't have to command the body to close the wound and grow new skin. It knows how to heal itself. We do have to nourish the skin by disinfecting it and remove the glass, or it cannot heal. The innate healer relies upon us to assist in this healing process. Our role is to identify its needs, provide the substances required for the healing, and remove the obstacle. Contact us to achieve optimal health at 888-777-4232. That's 888-777-4232. And visit us at maryjanemack.com.
What if there was no right or wrong way to be a great parent? Join Access Consciousness Facilitator Glenna Rice as she and Dr. Pat invite you to be the questionable parents you truly are and empower you to know and give the awareness required to create ease and joy with your children. Join Dr. Pat and Glenna as they focus on parenting for the modern family. Tune in every month to the Dr. Pat Show on air and online at TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Chris Stanis is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Dr. Friedemann Schaub is in the house. We are talking about, guess what? Mind stretching. Now, Dr. Friedemann, we have somebody that wants to chat with you. Why don't we go to the phone?
Oh, that's always great.
Yeah, so we have Ann calling in from Marysville. Ann, you're on with Dr. Friedemann and Dr. Pat.
Welcome,
Hello, Dr. Friedemann. Hello, Dr. Pat.
Hi.
Hi. Thank you so much for taking my call. The topic today is very exciting. I do have a question about it, though. I'm a person, because of a lot of childhood trauma, abuse type things, and I tend to live in a big bubble of fear a lot, but I very much want to step out of that and be able to accomplish living my best life and, leaving all of that behind and stepping into who I'm really here to be.
Right.
How does one do when one lives in, kind of a fearful state? What do you recommend to step out of that? And
Well, I think the fear is a very good example of the mind having a very small tunnel vision, which is only focusing on any potential danger. Often you probably know that you don't even know what you're anxious or fearful about, and it's just there. And
right.
This is your survival mode. Your mind has been switching through the childhood trauma into a survival mode, and in your case, you probably try to avoid as much as possible, and you just make your life more controllable and more smaller, and your mind is continuously reinforcing this because your conscious mind is giving your subconscious mind basically permission to take over and to stay in that survival mode. So flexibility is certainly a wonderful thing you can utilize to just think a little bit, step by step, beyond those limitations. For example, in your case, what do you feel like on a daily basis the anxiety is holding you back from?
I'm maybe failure or, just uncertain, just fear. I don't know.
But what are you not allowing yourself to do? I mean, obviously, calling in itself, congratulations, because I'm sure your anxious mind didn't want you to do that, and you did it anyhow. So this is an example of you felt there is an anxious voice inside of me. Oh, don't call in because, maybe you will not, get through, or you may just freeze up, or you may make a fool out of yourself. Who knows? And so there is a voice, and you actually said, no, this is important to me. I'm just going to call in, and I'm going to ask my question. This is making your life a little bit more flexible because you have actually done something that your mind didn't really allow you to do. And if you are going a little bit further without forcing yourself, just literally gently expanding your life more and more, maybe it's about reaching out, maybe it's about a little bit trying something new, changing your routines, you can actually settle in more into the reality of your life, which I hope and I assume is actually on paper more safe than your past. Is that right?
I'm sorry, say that one little last bit again.
Is your past or is your present more safe than your past was?
Oh, yes.
So on paper, you would actually say, I don't really have a lot of reasons to be afraid.
Right.
Good. So, when it comes to anxiety, of course, there are many steps that I think are important to take. For example, resolving your childhood traumas on a real deep subconscious level is a key to being able to live a more open and more full life. But even there, when I'm working with clients on their traumas, on their experiences that were very hurtful and scary from their childhood, the mind flexibility can be very, very helpful because it allows us to, in the processes, as we are working with the subconscious mind, it allows us to see the situation in a way that actually you realize, I don't have to any longer be stuck in this. I can actually let go of the past as I'm learning from it, and I can move beyond it. So mind flexibility can also help you to heal more of what you went through. And I invite you certainly to have a peek at my book, The Fear and Anxiety Solution, because it gives you really a step-by-step process on working with your mind, especially the subconscious, through these traumatic events and really being able to resolve them, and also then to let go of the identity that you have taken on. Part of the rigid mind is that it holds on to who we believe we are. I mean, in your case, you believe you are an anxious, fearful person, but you're much more than that. And so as you are more and more widening your perspective on yourself, you're able to also, with greater clarity, see that there is more to your truth. There is more to who you really are, and you can identify yourself more and more with that. And this way relieves also the old ways of how you saw yourself and, how you lived accordingly. If that makes sense to you.
Yes, it does. It truly does, yes. So your book actually would be a really good place for me to go, I think. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a really good, eye-opener. I mean, the book in itself increases your flexibility because we are often told that anxiety and fear are a disorder, a flaw, or just a wound that doesn't go away, and so you just have to cope with it. But, the perspective on anxiety that I've gained over the years is really that anxiety is ultimately an inner protector. It's a part of our subconscious. It just hasn't learned that you can actually be safe, or that you can be seen, or that you don't have to please everyone around you to somehow have a sense of belonging or being taken care of. All of those survival modes we can actually outgrow if we are addressing where that anxiety actually came from in the first step and in the first place. And there are very specific steps and tools that are described in the book. So it's a hands-on book. It's not something you want to just, skim through. You want to actually really work with it. And if you do, you learn to know yourself better, and you will see that this anxiety can be a catalyst for your growth. It can really lead you ultimately to yourself. And once you are there, the anxiety will no longer hold you hostage.
Wow, wonderful. Okay. Do you see it in my future? Or you're intuitive, I imagine.
I hope so.
Yeah. So can I just ask what you see for me in the near future or further?
Well, I'm not a psychic, so in that regard, I cannot really tell you the future, but what I see from what you have done already by making that step and calling in and being really, triggered by the conversation about flexibility, that you are ready to get beyond that trauma and beyond that imprisonment of your emotions and really open up your life again. What you need to find out is, what have you in the past done that kept you stuck? Were you a person who was more making her life small and controllable, or were you a person who tried to, avoid everything in, possibly that could create danger, or were you a person who maybe just tried to become an overachiever to somehow get some worthiness? So there are all these patterns that you can observe. And as you observe them, you can learn that these patterns actually created in themselves anxiety. So in your case, do you think you were more an avoider or a pleaser, or how would you call yourself?
All of the above.
All of the above.
Overachiever, just had to go to college, had to have that 4.0, couldn't settle for anything less, and everything I do did. I'm really trying to be more conscious of that nowadays and really remind myself that I am enough. I'm enough. I don't have to be all this. All I have to be is all I want to be, not all others, or not all that I think others want me to be,
That's a very powerful statement. I think that's a really, really good direction to look at. The thing about, the mind, and this is, again, where flexibility comes also in, the statements like, I am enough, sound really right on and powerful, but they can, for the mind, be nothing but words and not really having anything to hold on to. So you need to feed that belief, I am enough, with actually reasons why. Why are you enough? You know how children always ask you why, and you give an answer, and then there is a next why coming. And that's exactly what the mind does. So when you're making a statement like that, you have to answer why you are enough. What specifically makes you enough? How can you prove yourself every day that you're enough? How can you see your goodness shining through every day? So really give that statement, that direction every day some energy by making it more real and more specific. And that in itself is creating a new foundation for yourself.
Wow, thank you. Well, Dr. Friedemann, I won't take up any more of your time, but I certainly do appreciate your time, and Dr. Pat as well. Thank you so much for taking my call. And
I have to tell you, can I say something to you right now, if you don't mind? You know what you just did, and I want to thank you personally. I want to thank you, Ann, for what you just did, because, and Dr. Friedemann alluded to this earlier, the courage you had to come on the show and ask the kinds of questions. I'm sitting here listening, and I got tears coming from my eyes, because what you just did, trust me on this, has reached thousands and thousands of people. By you and allowing yourself to come on and ask those really tough questions and be open to what Dr. Friedemann Child had to say is an enormous gift that you have given to thousands of people that are listening live, and I will tell you the tens of thousands that will listen to the podcast. So I want to thank you personally for what you just did, because I know you have helped me personally with your questions. Thank you so very much. I cannot say enough about what just happened here.
Well, thank you both. I appreciate you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Wow.
Have a good day.
You too. Dr. Friedemann, let's take a short break. What an incredible conversation. I actually forgot that I was part of the show. And,
That's
what an enormous
mind.
gift. I know. That is a flexible mind. Let's take a short break. When we come back, we're going to tell all of you how you can get a copy of Dr. Friedemann Child's book. We're going to talk more. And by the way, for those of you out there that have a question, that want to speak with Dr. Friedemann directly, come on, 1-800-930-2819. If you're not able to call in, go to transformationtalkradio.com and scroll down, and there's a box on the bottom which enables you to ask your question. Go for it. Why? Because you're talking to the man, the author of the Fear and Anxiety Solution. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Always inspiring and uplifting, Brenda Thine spreads love and light wherever she goes. Enlightening, empowering, and encouraging readings, Brenda connects with your guides, angels, fairies, and loved ones who have crossed over to provide you with the highest guidance possible to enable you to live your highest truth and maximize your potential. Always light-filled, a session with Brenda will have you feeling wonderful, centered, and ready to take on anything. Schedule your session now at BrendaThine.com. That's BrendaThyne.com.
Tired of traditional talk? People pontificating about this or that, the left or the right. Sometimes the truth is just all lost in the noise. Tune in each week to Straight Talk with Chuck Gallagher on TransformationTalkRadio.com, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, as nationally known guests talk about what's important to you, your life, your concerns, and your success. Tune in and turn on to Straight Talk with Chuck Gallagher. Visit ChuckGallagher.com for more information.
If you look on the back of a Galeos dressing label, you'll see one taste and you're hooked for life. And you know what? That's the truth. I love this stuff. Try mixing the Caesar dressing with broccoli and sunflower seeds for a simple and delicious salad. Visit GaleosCafe.com and order your dressings online. That's GALEOS Cafe.com.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Hey, do you like free stuff? The Dr. Pat Show has an amazing giveaway program doing weekly giveaways on Facebook and Twitter. Go to Facebook.com/The Dr. Pat Show and click the like button. Then go to Twitter.com/The Dr. Pat Show and click the follow button. Then you can play along and enter to win some amazing prizes. Again, that's Facebook.com/The Dr. Pat Show and Twitter.com/The Dr. Pat Show.
Tune in to the hit show, Get Into It, Winning at the Game of Life with intuitive energy healer and medium Lynn Brown on Transformation Talk Radio. Get ready to bring the magic of soul into every aspect of your life. Learn how to use spirit tools and experience the immediate connection with yourself as a spiritual being with natural spiritual abilities as you are guided on the pathway to success and joy. Visit ruintoit.com. That's the letter R, the letter U, intoit.com, and get into it now.
You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio, the best in talk radio.
I had to take a deep breath. Wow. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Dr. Pat Show, Transformation Talk Radio, the Transformation Network, Dr. Friedemann Show, the Fear and Anxiety Solution. Oh, my goodness. Dr. Friedemann, before we continue, because I know we're going to talk more about mind stretching and so forth, would you mind just telling folks how they can find out more about you specifically, get a copy of the book, and also how to schedule that free consultation with you?
Well, just go to either the website, thefearandanxietysolution.com, which is all written in one word, thefearandanxietysolution.com. You can also send an email if you're interested in the work I'm offering. I'm working with clients literally all over the world via Skype and the phone, and you can just ask for a free phone consultation either by calling 866-903-6463 or send a request through the website, thefearandanxietysolution.com. The website has a lot of information, also an archive on these empowerment radio shows. There are free anxiety tests that you can take to see what your anxiety level is. There are some downloads for you to have where you can look into for example, releasing anxiety instantaneously or excerpts from the book. And you can definitely spend some time there and also find already some answers and some relief if you are feeling stuck and if you feel like your mind has become too rigid and not flexible enough. Go to thefearandanxietysolution.com.
Wow. You know, when I was looking at the show and by the way, I just want to tell you, his book, The Fear and Anxiety Solution, there are reasons why this book has won awards. There are many, many reasons. I will tell you, one of them is what you just heard him talk about with Anne. there are many, many answers to your questions. But I want to make sure that all of you out there, if you would like to call into the show and chat with him directly about something that is getting in your way, let's rock on with that. 1-800-930-2819. Dr. Schaub, we were talking about mind stretching. I feel better already. I mean, honestly.
Well, there are many people out there that probably would say, well, I don't need a stretched mind. My mind is really, wide open and very flexible. And that may be true, but I have a few questions for you just as a little way of self-assessment to see if you could use a little stretch on that mental, emotional level. And so just ask yourself, for example, do you feel that you are a little bit attached to your routines? How you go to work every day, or what you eat, or which shows you watch on TV, and, when you work out, or what you wear, and these kind of things. Do you feel like that somehow actually you have made your choices rather small and predictable? And then if something changes, if something is not going to plan, your show has been canceled, your pants are still at the dry cleaner, you have to go a different route to work, do you get actually a little nervous or irritated or frustrated when things are just not working the way you used to have them work? And are you afraid of trying out something new, where you feel really like, well, that's not for me, I'm too old, or, I'm not really in good shape enough, or, I cannot really dance, I'm German. I mean, that's what I was thinking. And so is there something like that where you just really hold yourself back?
Yeah, I think you were just in my mind right there. I think you were just, Ann was asking you, are you intuitive? I think you are, because I think you just got into my mind right there. I think you did. But I can dance. I'm not about the dancing. I can dance.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, and then there is, of course, that good old comfort zone that we all know, and that has a tendency to get smaller, where you can just realize that you haven't really, met new people, or where you really haven't, maybe even gone on some kind of a new adventure, or where you feel if anything is really getting into your comfort zone, or you're asked to stretch the comfort zone, you are, shrugging your shoulders, you're getting all tense, and you're feeling, no, I can't do it, where actually anxiety is more in the forefront of your mind. Another really interesting thing about inflexibility and a rigid mind is when you get easily bored. And a lot of people that say, I just like to work and maybe, watch TV, but usually when I have nothing to do, or when I'm, not really in that mode, I get bored. I don't know what to do with myself. If you have that, then you know that your mind is actually rather stuck, because you haven't really tapped into innate creativity. The most flexible people on earth are kids, and especially when they're really younger, and you can really just sit them somewhere and they find, maybe a little piece of paper, or, they're playing with the gift wraps, and they can make really wonderful games out of everything. You can see how flexibility is a big part of what makes their life so magical and wonderful, because they are not really limited to this is what it is and I don't see any other meaning in it. So being bored should give you a little hint that you may want to stretch your mind more. And then the last one is about, when you have a strong sense of right or wrong. When you really feel like there is black and white. You don't really have a lot of room in the middle. That's another side of, righteousness, or feeling a little bit judgmental, that you need to open your mind more and actually make it more flexible.
I want to talk to you about a couple of the things you said, because, I have to tell you, it's always interesting that the things you decide to talk about and when you decide to talk about them, because I could feel a whole lot of people right now, including myself, thinking, wow, Dr. Friedemann is really on to something. Is there a way, and this is really kind of my question about this, because I love the topic. I get the whole idea about stretching. But I think sometimes, and it wasn't until I heard Ann today, that I didn't even know that was going on within me around something really kind of big, needed a stretching exercise. And so here's my question to you. Sometimes we can't exactly get to the point where we believe we're in a little stretching issue. What are some of the ways that we can detect this? You know what I'm saying? Are there some things we should ask ourselves, or what?
Well, I think like what I just said, these questions, these observations certainly are very helpful. People that have a more rigid mind usually have a certain sense of anxiety or nervousness underneath because, life is not predictable. It throws you curveballs. There are always new things happening that you have to deal with, and the less flexible you are, the more anxious you are about those things. So just looking at your anxiety level can give you an idea of that you probably are becoming inflexible and that, you need to really open your mind up a little bit more. I think also assumptions. That was an eye-opener for me. A friend of mine worked on, assumptions and how assumptions are really limiting our lives. And it's mind-boggling to think about how often we are actually going through life and making an assumption. I remember one time in a yoga class, I was a student in that class. Everybody is quiet. Only the teacher is talking. And there was this one student always glaring from the back, well, how does this go? And, is this right? And do I stand it correctly? And totally the class was interrupted. And just, obviously everybody felt a little bit more tense and everybody felt a little bit more judgmental. And everybody thought about why she's so needy and why does she need all this attention and what's on with her. So, of course, nobody was really inside of themselves and everybody was focusing their judgment onto this woman until we all had to eat, humble pie afterwards because she was blind and she couldn't really see what the teacher was doing. So she had to ask when she didn't get it. And so, this is a classic assumption, situation where you just see someone doing something differently and out of your own judgment and out of your own fear of standing out and you would never do that or I would never do this, to just ask a question, you think that there must be something wrong with her, but not in a very compassionate way. So notice during the day how often you are stepping into making assumptions about someone, and you just have to really admit that you have been wrong or be open to be wrong. Be flexible enough to find out the truth, and don't just get stuck in your assumption.
Wow. Dr. Friedemann Schaub joining me here today. This is the Empowered Self Radio series here joining me, Dr. Friedemann Schaub. Empowered Radio is what he is all about. Today we're talking about mind stretching, how to gain mental and emotional flexibility. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, more with Dr. Friedemann Schaub, award-winning author of The Fear and Anxiety Solution, but he is much more than that. He has been a regular on this show, my co-host now for many years, and I am always amazed at how he mind stretches himself. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back with the show.
Life's like this. Tune in to Heart Center Talk Radio with David Christopher Lewis, a gifted clairaudient, Aquarian spiritual author, and talented musical composer on TransformationTalkRadio.com every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, with delivering more than 4,000 messages from angels, masters, and divine beings. David will share the Ascended Masters' teachings, insights, and surprising revelations to light bearers. Meet transformative guests who embody change and inspire hope and get a refreshing and deeply meaningful perspective on life.
Tune in to the Angels and Answers Psychic Radio Show with clairvoyants Artie Hoffman and Sky Siegel every Thursday for a 2-hour show, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio. Artie and Sky deliver spiritual and motivational messages with passion and a sense of humor. Call in 800-930-2819 for live and on-air readings. Visit artiehoffman.com and skyofangels.com.
If you look on the back of a Galeos dressing label, you'll see one taste and you're hooked for life. And you know what? That's the truth. I love this stuff. Try mixing the Caesar dressing with broccoli and sunflower seeds for a simple and delicious salad. Visit GaleosCafe.com and order your dressings online. That's GALEOS Cafe.com.
If you're one of the millions of Americans suffering from anxiety, you probably know how powerless and out of control this emotion can make you feel. This is why it is so important to remember that anxiety is created by your mind, which means that you can learn to use your mind to uncreate it. Hello, my name is Dr. Friedemann Schaub. My award-winning book, The Fear and Anxiety Solution, provides you with a step-by-step breakthrough process to understand and resolve the root causes of your anxiety and build a solid foundation of confidence and inner peace. If you are ready to take your power back, visit thefearandanxietysolution.com. That's thefearandanxietysolution.com, or call 866-903-6463. That's 866-903-MIND.
Are you looking for more balance and direction in your financial life? We all have questions. When can I retire? When do I want to retire? Will I run out of money? Is there a better way? All are valid questions, no matter what your goals. Jeff Packman, financial advisor with Packman, Brown & Associates, a financial advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated in Bellevue, Washington, is hosting an evening to address these questions and more on November 5th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. Call 425-372-4813 for a formal invitation. Hors d'oeuvres, beverages, and parking will be provided. This is an informational event. There is no cost or obligation. Ameriprise Financial Services Incorporated, member FINRA and SIPC.
You've been listening to Transformation Talk Radio, the new mainstream in radio.
Life's like this. That's the way it is.
Hey, everyone, welcome back. I love Dr. Friedemann Schaub. I mean, I have known him now for a whole bunch of years. I actually had to go back and look at when we first met. And I have learned so very much from him. But one of the things, the takeaway from today, Dr. Schaub, is going to be the following. Here's my takeaway. The mind is the place you start, but the heart is the place you grow. Now, that's my little 2 cents on today's show. What do you think of all of that?
Well, I love it, and it's really so right on that it is called, mental and emotional flexibility, and there are obviously wonderful ways to give our mind a workout and get it out of stiffness, but if the heart isn't really involved, it just gives you a little bit of a different look at your life, but it doesn't necessarily change as much as if you are really also making your emotions work differently or opening them up and becoming more flexible in that regard. Little exercises you can do on a daily basis can go a long way. For example, when you are, going through the motion of the day and you feel like you don't actually want to do something. You feel resistant. I don't want to go to work today. Just giving your mind the direction of thinking about actually what you look forward to. Maybe there are some colleagues you look forward to. Maybe, the coffee machine in the office has actually really excellent coffee, or you want to bring new coffee that you always wanted to share with others. Or you don't want to go to bed and you just feel like, I want to sit there and watch longer TV and just think about how you actually feel so much better if you are having a nice rest and if you feel the next day rejuvenated.
I don't know. I hope I'm still connected.
Machine.
Yeah.
What do? We get annoyed. We get really somehow a little irritated with the people. And that's, for a moment, put yourself into their shoes. And really just notice how much of negativity they have to deal with and maybe even absorb. And have compassion for them. Really see these are just doing their jobs. They just try to do their best. And they always have to be on it. They always have to really watch out, plus deal with people that feel inconvenienced. And in that moment, you can actually have a lot of more empathy for them, and you want to actually help them doing their job rather than making it, hard for them. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, when I sit in traffic, I see it as gifted time. This is another way where you feel resistance. You want to be somewhere. Why does the flow stop? Why am I not moving forward? And just saying, well, okay, maybe this is really, life, the universe, God helping me to have a time out. And then I just sit and I breathe slow and deep and I just center myself and I really feel this is the time I need to actually bring myself, my energy, my emotions back into this very moment. It can be a wonderful gifted time. And then how many people have been trying to, pay their bills and feel really, really terrible about it, and they are actually feeling really tense and horrible that they have to, again, rip out a check and send it to whoever and whatever company. Yeah. And think about all the great things and really let it come back to your mind. Open your heart for all the great things you just paid for. The warmth of your house, the electricity that brings you light, the water that you have just enjoyed after a nice hot bath, whatever it is, just really make your mind see the bigger picture. Resistance. Whenever you feel resistance inside, you know that your mind's flexibility can help you to go out of it and beyond it. And sometimes just really, seeing things from these different angles. My wife, Danielle, likes to say whenever something happens that she feels like is, maybe challenging or unforeseeable, she tells herself, that's probably the best thing that ever happened to me. And in that moment, her mind is completely redirected, and she is wondering consciously and subconsciously, why could this be the best thing that ever happened to me? And she finds an answer. Either she learned something from it, or she met a new person, or it forced her to make a change that turns out to be great later on. So it's just a whole frame that she's changing, a frame of greater flexibility that really helps her to enjoy life more. And I certainly benefited from that sentence myself.
Yeah. One of the things that I know we only have a few minutes left in the show, but I'll tell you, this has really been a super powerful show. I have to tell you, all of the shows that I get to do with you are. But for whatever reason today, this whole idea of mind stretching is such an energy and a vibration all its own, Dr. Friedemann. You see what I'm saying? And I was listening to an audio thing this morning where the person that was speaking said that when we're being called to stretch, we have to be able to move beyond the resistance that we automatically want to feel and act upon. And I would love for you to close the show today with your wisdom, your advice for the best way for us to accept, embrace, and encourage mind stretching.
Mind stretching and flexibility in general is really an innate power we all have. This is something that we are born with. And when you think about little babies, how much flexibility they show in the first few months of their life, you know that flexibility is something we all have innately within us. We just have forgotten about it. So watch a child. See how a child is seeing the world with so much curiosity, so much openness, how much flexibility a child can have in how it's approaching things from the little baby to the toddler. And just remember that you can be that open and that flexible yourself.
Wow, I love it. Dr. Friedemann, shout, everybody. Would you do one last thing again? Let folks know how they can schedule a free consultation with you. Also, for folks that want to spend more time with you and move beyond whatever the stuckness is in their lives, let them know about the best way to do that as well. And then the last question, what's your personal message?
You can find out more about me very simply at fearandanxietysolution.com, all in one word. You can also fill out schedule a free phone consultation form from there. We'll get back to you in a very short amount of time, and then we can just go from there and have a chat on what your challenges are and how the work and the program I'm offering can help you overcome them, no matter where you live. There are no limitations to that because I'm working with people all over the world with Skype and the phone. And, the series is the empowered self. And what I love about this notion of the empowered self is that it's not something that we have to design or we have to take a drug for or we have to add something to it. The empowered self is really just to remember who we are at the core of us, because all of us have that power of flexibility and all these other things we talk about within us. And I really encourage you in the next few days and weeks just to open your mind more, try to think in different ways about what you're doing, mix your life up, stretch your heart. If you have a person that you resist, go actually to this person and have a chat. If you make any assumptions about a situation, find out the truth about it. Go beyond that assumption. If you feel resistance, go for it. Open up even more and try to actually explore what the resistance is about and how it would be to get out of your comfort zone.
I love it.
Just bound to 10 minutes a day. You can do it all day long. It's actually fun.
I love it. Fun, essential. Dr. Friedemann, shout, everyone. What a great show. Thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning us in and turning us on. And believe me, if you have missed any part of this show, it will replay tonight.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
Tune in each Tuesday at noon Pacific and 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com for the Dr. Julie Show, All Things Connected with Dr. Julie Kroll, featuring weekly segments with David Eisen and the Chakra Sound System. Each week, you will journey through infinite possibilities, expand into social potential, and find beautiful beginnings where endings leave off. Changemakers from around the world will explore what's emergent about the environment, relationships, health, the arts, education, and the evolution of consciousness. Visit thedrjulieshow.com.
Are you ready to tap into the healer within? Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Did you know the real doctor is the source that lives within you, that heals within you minute by minute every day? The healer within is the innate intelligence of the human body. When we cut our hand with a piece of glass, we don't have to command the body to close the wound and grow new skin. It knows how to heal itself. We do have to nourish the skin by disinfecting it and remove the glass, or it cannot heal. The innate healer relies upon us to assist in this healing process. Our role is to identify its needs, provide the substances required for the healing, and remove the obstacle. Contact us to achieve optimal health at 888-777-4232. That's 888-777-4232. And visit us at maryjanemack.com.
What if there was no right or wrong way to be a great parent? Join Access Consciousness Facilitator Glenna Rice as she and Dr. Pat invite you to be the questionable parents you truly are and empower you to know and give the awareness required to create ease and joy with your children. Join Dr. Pat and Glenna as they focus on parenting for the modern family. Tune in every month to the Dr. Pat Show on air and online at TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Chris Stanis is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.